He was clearly in distress. He was clearly frightened. He needed help. As a human being, he was denied that by the police.
Oh, fuck no.
Our brother was like the apple of our eye. He was very gifted and talented. Musically, he was very creative. He loved the idea of being able to travel extensively. He was optimistic about the future.
Deji was just such a loving brother. He was such a kind soul. Just had a real love for, exercise, keeping fit. He loved to cook. He had a very healthy, clean diet. We always joked about, his veganism.
Misleading information was given as to what Deji was carrying, which we now know was a firelighter and not a screwdriver.
At the point that he's been tasered, he's now incapacitated. Whatever he was holding, we've kicked that away. So at that point, they knew what the item was, and they should have dealt with the situation based on what they were confronted with, not the reports that they received.
The Metropolitan Police are solely responsible for his death. It was obvious he was going to a crisis. They went ahead using multiple taser on him. We don't, at the moment, know how many taser discharges. The police didn't say anything to us about their encounter with Deji. They didn't say anything to Deji's mom, who was first there in the hospital at Deji's bedside. And when I got there, the police didn't share anything about their encounter with Deji.
I found it online the same day as my parents were at the hospital. I said, this isn't adding up. My spirit told me to Google Chelsea Bridge, and that's when my life literally changed. What I saw absolutely shocked me. And I was like, Mum, Dad, do you know this is online? Why have the police not told us this? We had to Google to find that horrific video while my mother and father are in a hospital fighting to keep my brother alive.
After Deji was pronounced dead at the hospital, the police, they told us that the Deji's case has been referred to the IOPC for investigation, that one of the officers will be coming to see us before we leave the hospital. And I challenged them that, nobody said anything to us about this. Oh, they said, they were just trying to make sure we settle down. I never thought I would be in this situation. It's like a nightmare to me.
We're almost dealing with a pandemic, and that pandemic being an onslaught of police brutality and excessive force used against vulnerable Black men and people in general. And, at the very core, there was a lack of humanity, a lack of empathy. Our brother was on a bridge. That's a very unsafe location to use the type of instrument that was used that led to, our brother's death. As a family, we were outraged, absolutely outraged by what we witnessed, but we also see this as an opportunity to really shine a light in the injustice of the system. And that's what we want to focus on, ensuring that his name is forever remembered and that the police are held accountable for their actions.